Hey there everyone, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna head off to Hobby Lobby, and per usual, I'm gonna take you all through the store with me and point out some of those items that will really help to elevate your space and give it that designer, expensive feel. But of course, you can snag them for those amazing Hobby Lobby prices. And then we're gonna come back home and I'll show you everything that I found for my own home and how I styled some of those pieces throughout my space. So hopefully you can get some fun decorating visuals. And yeah, without further ado, let's go to Hobby Lobby. All right, here we are at Hobby Lobby, and as you can see as I'm walking in, they already have their fall decor out, which is crazy. I am personally enjoying summer over here, so we're going to be focusing mainly on season neutral decor in this shop, but I thought it'd be fun to just take a little stroll by the fall florals for a fun little preview. Usually I gravitate towards more muted and neutral colors when it comes to picking out my florals, but I do think it's fun to use a pop of color every once in a while, and I actually used these mum bushes last year in my fall decorating, and it was neat to see that they also have it in a burgundy color this year as well. And last year my mom bought the gold color and she sprayed them with some Scotchgard and just used them to decorate her front porch area outside. So I thought that was a cute way to use them as well. Another fall floral that stood out to me were these sunflowers, and I thought they looked very realistic, and because they're so bright, you would really only need a stem or two to mix in with some greenery that you already have to create a casual rustic arrangement, perfect for making a statement on a dining, coffee, or console table. I also spotted these super twiggy stems that reminded me of the blossom branch that's currently backordered on a floral for $46 a stem, and I also found a similar branch at a local antique shop that I used on our dining table for a sculptural rustic look. Another one of my absolute favorite pieces in the floral section is this faux olive tree, and I've shown this before, but I just think it's such a great deal at only $45, and I have this in my dining room in a large rustic pot, and it's just such a realistic and expensive looking accent piece. Another stem that will give your space an expensive look is this hydrangea stem, and I love decorating with these in my home during the summer months. I used some super similar ones that I found at home, and I just love the fresh, realistic look that they give to my floral arrangements. You could also buy several of these to mix in with some staple greenery for a more gathered look. And speaking of staple greenery, this clematis stem is one of my all-time favorites. It's super affordable, it looks very realistic, and I love the movement that it has, so it will help to give you an effortless sculptural look when placed in a vase, and it also works great to mix in with some seasonal florals as well. Definitely one of those versatile pieces that looks great on its own or used in an arrangement. And another spot that I always like to check out at Hobby Lobby for high-end decor is the wall and table decor section. And this week, the wall decor was on sale, but it always alternates, so just know that you can usually snag these at 50% off the sticker price, just depending on the week. And something that I think is a designer look and really helps to add character to a space is handmade ceramics. And most designer sites sell handmade ceramics, but they can be very pricey. And while I think it's great to support local artists if you can, it's not always practical for everyone. So this can be kind of a good way to get that curated, handmade, and imperfect look in your space just for a cheaper price. Another way to get a designer look in your space is by mimicking architectural details within your decor. So, for example, lots of designer spaces have details like arched doorways and windows, giving it a very luxurious feel. And you can just do the same thing within your decor on a smaller scale using things like mirrors and picture frames. Another thing that I always look for here are distressed pieces that are made to look old, and I love the worn rustic look of this bowl. It reminded me a little bit of the reclaimed wood bowl that they sell at Pottery Barn for $150, while this one is just a fraction of that price. Another bowl that I thought had a high-end look to it was this black one. I loved the texture on it, and the rings along the sides give off the illusion that it was hand-thrown on a pottery wheel, and it looks like the imprints along the edges were made with someone's fingers, so I just love that handmade rustic look. Another material that I love incorporating in my space is rattan or woven accents, and this scalloped picture frame is very on trend right now, and so many designer sites sell similar products, so this is a very expensive look that you can get for a discounted price. Another piece that I thought was a steal was this arched woven shelf, and I've seen designer pieces with very similar lines for like 8 times the price, and the shelves on this were actually very sturdy
sturdy for having that textural woven look. Sometimes they can be a bit flimsy, but this wasn't, and I just thought this would be a great way to, again, mimic those arched architectural details throughout your furniture. Another section that I was so excited to see was this newer vase aisle, and this is Hobby Lobby's second vase aisle. There's one over by the floral section, and this one was over by the wall decor in my store. So for a vase obsessed gal like me, this was very exciting. This particular vase was probably my favorite. I just think it looks like it's been sitting out aging in a European garden for years, and the vase itself had little dimples on it, giving it that realistic rustic look. I also loved these black handled vases that look super similar to the antique clay pots that are sold on designer sites for hundreds of dollars. And they also had several size options to choose from. But if the rustic look isn't your thing, they also have lots of options to fit a more sleek and modern aesthetic. I loved these bubble vases. I think they would be a great way to add some visual interest and texture to your styling. I also like that they have both a white and a black option, and you could always mix and match and style a tall and a small one right next to each other for some repetition. I also thought this speckled donut vase would be a really pretty accent piece as well, but at this point my cart was pretty full, so it is now time to head home and show you all of my finds.
All right, so we are now back home and I'm gonna show you guys all of my fun finds. So the first thing that I picked up obviously was a vase, and it is this stunning black handled vase that really resembles those clay pots that I mentioned in the shop with me portion. And like I said, these came in all different shapes and sizes, and this was kind of like the taller medium size. And the reason that I picked this one specifically is because I really liked that small one that was low. I felt like that shape looked the most like the ones on the designer sites, but I figured that I wanted to put stems in mine, and the other one was just a little bit too low to realistically do an arrangement in. So this one had a little bit more room for stems, and I just love the subtle distressed look of this and the handle detail. You all know that I feel like handle details help to give a vase an old world rustic feel. This guy was $32 before the sale, so if you can catch it on a sale week, this will cost you only 16 bucks, which is such a good price. This would be a really pretty styling piece just popped on a shelf, like on its own or maybe on a mantle. This is a perfect size to pop on a bathroom countertop or maybe to accent a larger vase so you can have that repetition. I think I'm going to style this with some faux wisteria stems that I bought on Etsy. I will link those below, but that kind of leads me to my next find, which I also specifically bought to style in here for the fall season. So let me show you that. Okay, so I bought these really pretty, I actually have no idea what they are. So if you all know, comment below, but they're just like some kind of seeded twiggy stem, and they are so gorgeous. I feel like the stems actually look to be very realistic, and the finish on the seeds just seems to be kind of like faded. I don't know, I just thought these were so unique, and they're kind of gray, but they almost have a little bit of a blue tint, which I love. I think that you could use these for fall, but they would also carry you into winter as well. You can mix these in with some evergreen stems, and I think that that would be absolutely stunning. So I bought 5 of these in total, and I'm going to style them in the really pretty handled black rustic pot that I bought. These were $9.99 each, but when I went, fall was 40% off, so I got them for $6. I think when fall gets closer, they typically put fall stuff on sale for 50% off, so you could eventually get these for $5. Just sometimes they do sell out, so I always like to get mine early. I see lots of designers incorporating that just very simple twiggy look, even in the spring and summertime. It's very on trend, and I don't like saying that. I feel like on trend has a negative connotation. I just mean that it's a classic look that designers are incorporating a lot in their decorating right now. I think these look very realistic already, but something that I like to do to take it to the next level is, if you see how these stems are straight, I just kind of like to give them some little bends, so it makes it look like it's naturally growing that way, and I think that that movement really helps it to look a bit more realistic. But yeah, I just thought that these were a very unique piece, and we do have a lot of subtle blue tones kind of going on throughout our home. It's like my main accent color, so I figured the blue undertones in this would kind of pick up on that and make things feel a little bit more cohesive while still keeping it fresh and unique at the same time. All right, so there is one more fall floral that I picked up, but I didn't get these just for fall. I think they'll look great during fall, but I just figured these would be a really pretty one to use year round, and they are these gorgeous skimmia stems, apparently. I have never heard of a skimmia, but that's just what they're called online. So these guys were $10.99 before the 40% off discount, so I think that's like $6.60 or something like that. I bought 3 of them. I just like the neutral, earthy look of these, and I figured they would add a lot of texture, and again, they're kind of unique without looking too fakey, so that's really what I look for when I'm trying to source my florals. I love to create a very rustic, kind of just gathered aesthetic, and I think that these have that look and feel to them. The neutral color will also go in any of my spaces, so it's very versatile, and it'll also add that extra layer of texture and visual interest to my decorating. All right, so next, when going through Hobby Lobby, I hardly ever skip over the clearance section, and sometimes I find stuff and sometimes I don't, but this time I scored this cute little terrarium. Oh my gosh, like how sweet is this? This guy was $6.99 on clearance, and they had a bunch of colors and sizes and shapes, but I just liked the black the best, or I guess this would be like iron. What was this originally? Okay, originally this was $27.99, so that's a pretty good deal, and I just figured this would be a fun accent piece to have on hand to eventually put a little terrarium in. But right now I have personally taken on a lot of plant babies in the backyard, so what I'm going to do just for now is put this succulent in here. This guy was $6.99, and I thought this was the most realistic succulent that I saw at Hobby Lobby. So I'm just gonna pop this in here and then put it on my shelves in our bedroom just as some accent decor. I love terrariums. I feel like they just give off a really cozy feel for some reason, and it's a fun and unique way to incorporate greenery rather than just like the stereotypical vase and stems. It's kind of a fun way to switch it up and keep things feeling fresh and earthy by doing something different. All right, so something else that I picked up was this really cute Blissful Fields triple wick candle, and Hobby Lobby is really stepping up their game when it comes to their candles. I feel like they have that luxury candle feel and smell. A couple years ago, I was never really very impressed with their smells, but they came out with all of these new, they like have different numbers on them. So this one is number 49, and I just think that that feels very high end, and not only does it look really nice with all of the branding and the overall design, but this smells so good. And I know smell is very subjective, but a lot of times with Hobby Lobby's candle selection in the past, I have like smelled, you know, the whole entire collection, and then I've really liked like 1 or 2. But this collection, I will say they did a really good job with. A lot of the scents were very expensive smelling in my personal opinion. So again, I know smell is subjective, but this one is a really pretty, almost like, I'm the worst at describing scent. I would say it's a little bit florally, a little bit musky, and personally, like, I'm not drawn to like floral scents usually, but there's something about this one that is just like so happy smelling. I don't know how to describe it. I guess this would be like a very happy scent. It's one of those where you just want to like open the windows and let the sun shine in, and for some reason I feel like when the windows are open you smell your candles so much more. Obviously you probably have a breeze going through your house, but it's something about like the outdoor air that just like circulates it and makes it smell so much more fragrant. So this also does smell very fragrant. I'm just going to use this as a little accent piece to pop next to a vase and obviously light it and make our whole house smell heavenly. So yeah. All right everyone, that about wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this Hobby Lobby shop with me and haul. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up because it really does help to support the channel, and be sure that you're subscribed because I post new lifestyle, home decor, and travel content every single week, so make sure you don't miss any more of that. I'm also very active in my community page. If you didn't already know, I post things like sales, restock alerts, and new arrivals over there, so that is another benefit of being subscribed as well. And I hope that you all are having a great week so far. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!